Welcome to the first installment of FAQ with Tigura. I read over the comments from the News Number 9 video and picked out 12 questions to answer for today. Now if your question wasn't answered, don't worry, I'll most likely answer it in a second video in the future. In fact, you may hit the annotation I'll be putting up right now, and head to another video solely meant for any questions you'd like me to answer in the next FAQ, and only there. But of course, if the questions involve spoilers or they're just too personal, I won't be replying to those either way. Now, let's get started. Alright, the first question will be by the from the Hedgehog Engine. And this question is pretty old. Yeah, I've been putting off this FAQ for a while, you can tell. Are you looking forward to this year's E3? Because I know last year sucked so bad. Well, to be honest, E3 wasn't that bad this year. I mean, we got the reveal to Smash 4 and it looks awesome so far. Bowser looks sexy. And we also have the Mario Kart 8 and the new Super Mario game, Super Mario 3D World. That looks pretty interesting. Peach in a playable appearance in a main Mario game after so long. I'm gonna play as Peach first just for lulz. If that choice comes up, I don't know how it's gonna work anyway. We also have Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. That's gonna be cool. Another Donkey Kong game. There's Bayonetta 2 and Kingdom Hearts 3. Yes, finally after so long. And yeah, well, E3 was all right this year, and maybe go ahead and get that Wii U. Been prep myself for all the future games and Sonic Lost World coming out in October. So it's all good. Alright, next question is by the Soaring Star Raptor and a few others. So Tigura, what got you into making machinima in the first place? The Wrath of Giga Bowser by Super Doodle Man. I happened onto that video looking for Gimpy Fish Bowser videos at the time, and after I got done watching that, I also happened onto his short-lived series, well, you can't hardly call it a series since it's just one episode, The Last Tier War. And that's when I learned more about like things about tiers and things like that. And then that's when I initially thought that's an interesting concept. You can use this to have like create sympathetic characters, like they're shunned for being weaker than the high tiers and stuff like that. And then around that time, I was particularly interested in machinima. Well, I don't think I knew that term at the time, and I was wondering if there were more kind of videos like this. And then that's when I came across Smashtasm by Shippage, and he recently released the 6th episode of the first season at the time I found it. And then Brawl came out, and we got to see new machinimators come out the woodwork. And there's this one thing called Wolf's Retarded Mission by Dexter Boy, and I initially didn't want to watch that show purely because of the name. It just sounded immature and stupid, kind of like its first series, Peach's Slutty Adventure. But I was like, YOLO, you only live once, and I decided to just sit down and just see what's up. And then I was kind of surprised. I kind of liked it. I ended up liking it a lot. And that show was pretty much, I was like, yeah, I kind of want to do something like this. Next question is by Cryoflare. Since you favorited the pony form I made you, does that mean you're a brony, or that you really like the form I designed you, or both? Oh yeah, that thing you made me on DeviantArt, that drawing of me as I don't remember what the show called it, an alicorn, I don't know, whatever. But admittedly, I did watch the first 2 seasons of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, and I personally don't mind it. Really, I mean, I personally feel like some stuff was pretty funny, some stuff was cringeworthy, because you know it's ultimately a girl cartoon, meant to be a girl cartoon anyway. But it's one of those girl cartoons where I'm like, if I had a daughter in the future and she ended up liking ponies and wanted me to watch it with her, I wouldn't really mind it. It wouldn't put me off that badly. But so, you know, to answer your question, I don't really consider myself being a brony or even just that much of a pony fan in general, because I watched the first 2 seasons. I know there's a 3rd and a 4th season. I don't know, just maybe. I don't really know. I don't really care either. That's the thing. I have no desire to watch anything beyond season 2. I guess I'm just done with ponies. It's a thing that exists. Yeah. But I didn't mind the drawing you did of me, though. Thanks. Alright, next question. BowserBoy129 asks, if you had to make any minor character into a more important character, who would it be? That's a good question. Well, I think the minor characters, the minor teams of Smash King, I feel like they're at a good place. I wouldn't really change much about them. And the secondary characters that lacked proper introductions like Pit, Ike, and Liz, I fixed that in remakes of past episodes, or in Liz's case, a future remake will fix that. However, there is one character that I'm like, if I were to go back and change anything in Smash King at the beginning, it would be her, Zelda. I had shown Zelda to be a secondary character along the likes of Liz and Pit, but she might as well be a minor since I really didn't do much with her at all in Act 1. Like, she's established as the best friend character to Peach, she's gothic, apparently psychic, she has stuff in common with Meta Knight, she helped Bowser break out of jail in episode 7, and she has secret things going on with Snake's group. But, well, I think DDD put it best.
And Zelda, you're boring. No offense.
I'm not boring.
Yeah. I didn't feel her to be an interesting character, or at least a character I enjoyed writing for. So I purposely kept her back for making a notable presence in the story. I just didn't really know where to go with the character. I even hinted that she was supposed to have an ascent mode in episode 6, but that went nowhere, it was completely forgotten. That's pretty much the real purpose of Midna, so that I could retcon Zelda being a psychic and give her another chance to be a decent character through her. Pretty much killing two birds with one stone, since Midna was also introduced to help break the wall I wrote myself into with Mario in episode 9. But despite that, I still find the Zelda subplot a bit messy. So that would be the one thing I wish I could do over again.
Grant Brown asks, so here's the question. Where did you get the idea of Liz as Bowser's first brawl friend / love interest that's not Peach? The reptiles. Charizard had a pink skin. Totally a girl. Easy. Well, anyways, Liz kinda had the same issue I had with Zelda, only I was able to fix her in a more seamless fashion. While she was always meant to be a secondary love interest, she was originally a minor character since I was ultimately going for pushing Bowser and Peach. That's why she began as a mute. But I soon felt like no matter how well written I could make it, that you, the viewers, just can't bring yourselves to appreciate it. Because we can't have things like this again, right? So I began to have Liz more involved in the plot, and that started by giving her a voice in Raconto File 12. And I really love Patty Allen's voice for her, so that made me want to write Liz into more things with actual dialogue. Though I had to maintain continuity with her being a mute at first, and that's why we have the English lessons. It's been pretty awkward in the storyboarding process, but I made that ship sail. Bow chicka bow wow.
Dynamite X2000 asks, what do you enjoy doing when you're not working on projects? If you do not wish to answer that, then did you always enjoy doing stuff like this? Creating stuff like machinimas? Nothing major beyond playing video games, chatting up with friends online and offline, work, and family stuff. But I did used to write fanfiction of some things I liked, such as The Lion King, Beyblade, Sailor Moon, Digimon. Jack Shattuck remembers those quite well and tends to bring them up when I kinda want to forget about those. Well, except for the Lion King fanfiction, I really enjoyed writing that one. And I also used to draw far more often before I did machinima as well. Next up, Plankio and a few others ask, what is the reason that you made Bowser the main character of Smash King instead of like Lucario? Also, is Bowser your favorite character in the Mario universe, and if so, how come? First off, that's one reason right there. Yes, Bowser is my favorite character in the Mario universe, so I felt like I owe it to him to make him the star of my machinima. Second reason though, alright, it's gonna be a long one, so story time! Now, I was a Sega baby, as in my first game system was the Sega Genesis, and I played Sonic games, while I could either just hear about the Nintendo's gaming library, and suddenly getting a brief chance to play their games at a friend's house. So the only real exposure I had to Bowser and the Mario series in general was both word of mouth and their cartoon show. So yeah, not a lot. My love for Bowser wasn't nearly as high it is now back then. But But then one Christmas, I finally got my first Nintendo system, the GameCube, and had fun with Melee for months on end. Fox was my main, and I typically had a Bowser CPU somewhere in my bouts cause he's just so easy pickings. Yeah, you heard that right. I was picking on Bowser at first. But one day I had a crazy idea. I was all, man, the CPU sucks with Bowser, even on level 9. Let me try playing as him for once. And by the end of that match, I found myself liking how Bowser plays and just stuck with him as my secondary main. Now, the reason I immediately chose Fox as my main was because I loved Starfox 64 when I had chances to play it. So when I made Bowser my secondary, I began to develop interest of him as a character in the Mario series. And as I got to consistently play more Mario games, my love for him grew, especially since he's one of the Mario characters alongside Luigi with an actual personality. He's the big bad of the series, and he's got to have the sinister moments from time to time, but I got to see his dumb and amusing side. His sarcasm and wisecracks always brighten me up, his genuine love for his family, his cute little crush on Peach. I also have to admire his tenacity in trying to steal Peach away and rule the Mushroom Kingdom despite his many failures. The man knows what he wants, and he will not rest until he gets it. It's that kind of mindset that plenty of people can benefit from, myself included. Now, back to Melee for a sec. When I found YouTube and happened onto the professional scene for Melee, I was trying to find anything for Bowser. And that's when I discovered Gippyfish. He made Bowser look awesome, especially after I learned about tiers and how Bowser is supposedly one of the worst characters in the game. And after seeing the last T-War, that's how I was first inspired to have Bowser be the main character of Smash King and write him the way I did. It's simply based on the real life fact that Bowser has so much working against him in Smash, but with the proper care, even he can have a moment to shine. Still, here's the Smash 4 hopefully making the Big Lug a more decent fighter, since they're willing to change a lot of his animations and attacks. That dropkick! Alright, Mojo873 asks, I'm sure you've gotten this question a million times, but what all do you use when editing together your machinima? Also, what type of mic do you use? Nowadays I use Sony Vegas 10, along with After Effects CS5 to edit my series, while I used to have Pinnacle Studio 11 and 12 for that. But never again. Pinnacle Studio can go burn in fire. Done and done! Hurrah! And the type of mic I'm using is what I'm using right now, a Samson CO1U condenser mic. Had this thing since 2008. Used to have a generic headphone mic that you could find at a Walmart, so that can be used to start you off if mics like this one is out of your budget. The price tag can be kinda steep, but at the time I got this mic, it was on sale for around 80 bucks, so I lucked out. You can also find a program called Audacity to aid you in audio recordings, though I'm presently using Adobe Audition for that. So to the folks that may have noticed that I sound kinda different, my mic quality has changed, that's the reason. How'd I get Adobe Audition? The same way I got Vegas and After Effects. Torrents. Okay, now here's an interesting question here by Lunatic Snivy. Is there a particular scene do you want to be animated from your series, like in anime style? Beyond my opening and ending sequences, there are a few scenes that I'd kill to see in 2D animation. Like the Bowser and Mario fight in episode 14, that's one scene at present that I would think would look pretty sick in anime form. But two other scenes I have in mind are from things I haven't even released yet. One of them is from Kanto, a scene involving the moment Bowser goes acid mode for his very first time. And the other is from the main series and, well, let's just say it involves the most popular coupling in the series. Galactic Baron asks, what tends to be your thoughts so far as selecting music for the series? Do you just play whatever comes to mind, or do you actually go out hunting for something that fits the theme? Also, are there any limits to what you will or will not play? Another good question. First, for the opening and ending songs that I've chosen, while them sounding good is fine and all, I do read their lyrics to see if they can mirror what actually happens in the series. For Hirari, it loosely describes Bowser, while both the ending songs so far are for Peach. Sheesh, you can almost tell that Mario was made a tritagonist at the last moment. As for the background music in show, I typically stick with soundtracks from anime and games I'm most familiar with. So Digimon, Sailor Moon, and the Tales of series tend to take point in my decisions for music. I also allow soundtracks from the Brawl roster's actual respective series for that added bit of fan service, albeit I try not to go for anything too quote-unquote dated, like anything 16-bit or overall meaty sounding. I either stay away from those or I find a remix of it. Unless I mean for a scene to come off as dated or it would make the scene funny, I kinda go for an orchestral sounding music score for Smash King, while delving into rock every so often. Also, no matter how fitting a BGM would be, if it's from a show or game that I haven't seen or played, or I'm just not particularly knowledgeable about, I would not use it unless I honestly couldn't find anything better. Next question is asked by Thiago Fernandez and a few others. What is the key to your motivation and dedication to continue your machinima projects? It's simply because it's like the pinnacle of things I've been doing since childhood. Like when I was a kid and loved watching Cartoon Network and the like, I liked to make believe that I was running my own program of TV shows that I made after shows I watched. Then come PC Master Race, I began writing fanfiction. And finally I'm here doing machinima, and it's like I'm fulfilling a lifelong dream by purposely going at Smash King as if it was an actual TV show. It strongly stems from things I did as a child, and I suppose I just never outgrew that. For all its faults, I love Smash King. I'm proud of it, like a parent of his or her child. And the drive to see it through to the end was admittedly tested plenty of times, but it hasn't went away. Also, my mother has this habit where she hates being outdone by things she could very easily get help for. Like a long time ago, I asked her to help me out with help set up this router to be able to send signals to a wireless connector for my computer, and we just couldn't get it to work. I'm like, let's just wait for Dad to come home from work so he can help us, but she's all, no, we can figure this out. We never did, and it was months later when they got a completely new router, and it was somehow much easier to make it send my wireless signals. But, well, that's just how she is sometimes, even to this day. When it's something she feels like she can do by herself, she becomes really stubborn and refuses to quit on anything until she finds a way. I guess that pretty much rubbed off on me. And now for the FAQ's final question. The main reason I even made this FAQ. Cause ever since this review, I just can't go on YouTube without seeing this damn question. So everybody asks, will I make machinima in Smash 4? I don't know. I imagine that Smash King won't be completed when it gets released next year. If there are no delays, that is. But I would still continue Smash King in Brawl regardless, since its story is already set in stone and it wouldn't make sense to make the jump. Especially since it's uncertain about who's going to stay in Smash 4 or not. And I don't know, I think I'll eventually grow conscious of the fact that I'm in my late 20s doing machinima, and probably hang my hat by the time Smash King is finally done. Or maybe the child in me just can't be silenced. Maybe it won't be possible to even make machinima through Smash 4. Maybe it will be possible, I just don't know yet. But I'll admit that I had already came up with an idea of how to open a new season of Smash King through Smash 4 randomly at work one day, based on one of the endings I have in mind for this current series. Take that as you will, but for right now, the best answer I can give you is, we'll see. Alrighty, that's all the questions I have for today. Once again, see my query video to post any questions you'd like me to answer in a future video. Continue watching my channel for future updates and videos. And feel free to check out my alternate channel, Dragora21, for gameplay videos and the like, as well as stop by the Smash King fan club on DeviantArt. Catch y'all next time, and remember, video descriptions are your friends.